it's Natalia, and today I wanted to walk you guys through my step-by-step process to setting up a study plan, study routine, study schedule for any language that I'm learning. This process helps me get to intermediate in Korean, and I want to share that process with you. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Go, go! The first thing you need to do is reflect on what your goals are for the next few months. What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to be able to travel around comfortably in Korea? Are you trying to be able to read a children's book? Are you wanting to speak more quickly? Determine what those goals are so you can figure out how you're going to achieve them. Once you have your big overarching goals or your big overarching goal for the next few months, break it down. Okay, if I am wanting to travel comfortably in Korea, what is one of the things I know I'm gonna need to be able to do? Well, I know I'm gonna have to increase my vocabulary. I know I'm gonna have to practice my listening skills. I know that I'm gonna have to practice my speaking skills. Great, now let's break it down even more. How am I going to increase my vocabulary? I know that I want to learn at least another 500 words over the next 3 months. Great, that's measurable. Now let's break it down even more. If I have 3 months, let's say that's 12 weeks, that means I need to learn 42 words every week if I want to learn 500 words by the end of the 3 months. Cool, that's about 6-7 words a day. So now I know by how much I want to increase my vocabulary, and I've broken it down to like sizable goals. Now how am I going to do that? How am I going to learn those 6 words a day, right? Well, I can use Memrise, Anki, Quizlet, whatever, however you enjoy learning vocabulary. The more measurable or the more you break down your goals so that you can actually track them on a day-by-day or even week-by-week basis, the better. The more specific you get, the easier it is to visualize how you're gonna get from point A to point B. Step number 2. Carefully consider your resources and pick a few. So now that you know what your goals are, it's easier for you to sift through all your resources and determine what exactly you should be spending the most time with during your study sessions. So you probably have a few of your favorite textbooks, a few favorite websites, blogs, apps, YouTube channels, you name it. You probably already know what you enjoy studying with. But now it's time to decide or figure out, do these things actually help you achieve your goals? Do they? So when you're sifting through all your resources to decide what's gonna be on your study plan as a main player, if you will, you need to ask yourself, is this resource gonna help me achieve my goal? If my goal is to take the Korean proficiency test, maybe learning with K-pop songs isn't the best way to study, or maybe using my talk to me in Korean slang expressions isn't the best thing either. It's probably better for me to use a topic book that is going to teach me exactly what vocabulary is going to be on there, exactly what grammar points are going to be on there, instead of being like, this might be on the test. Probably not, right? It's also important to look through your resources and decide, is this something that's actually easy to use, or is it going to require me to seek outside explanations? For example, I have quite a few textbooks where their grammar explanations are literally 1 sentence, and so I always have to go online or go to other textbooks to actually figure out what's going on with this grammar point. For the book like that, I probably shouldn't be using it as my main source. Step number 3, get out a calendar and structure your time. So personally, I enjoy using a whiteboard for this process because it's easy to move things from Monday to Friday to never very easily, but you're welcome to use your bullet journal or any calendar that you found online and print it out, whatever works for you. So the point of step 3 is to decide, are you going to study every day? Are you going to study only certain days of the week? Or are you just going to aim to study 6 or 7 hours a week, maybe 3 hours a week, and when it gets done, it gets done. During this time, you're also gonna look at your goals again. If my goal to increasing my vocabulary is to finish a specific textbook, if that textbook has 15 chapters, how quickly do I need to be working through that textbook each week so that I can be done with it by the end of 3 months, right? So if it's 15 chapters and I have 12 weeks, that means I'm gonna have to do more than a chapter a week. It's during this time that I'm gonna schedule it out so I can determine, is this goal realistic? Do I have the time to accomplish this goal? Pro tip, I recommend having 1 day a week that is specifically a review day, because as you're taking in all this information, there's gonna be times where you're gonna feel like you wanna go back and review. So allocate some time or put some time on your calendar so that you can do that and not feel guilty because you're falling behind in your goals or something. It also allows you to catch up if there was one day where you had a family commitment that you weren't expecting. So once you have everything laid out on your calendar, ask yourself this question. are these goals, or is this routine, is this plan realistic? Is this something that I can keep up with and maintain? If the automatic response is no, then maybe take a few things off, or simply extend the plan out so it's not as intense. It's also important to remember as you're making this plan that it's gonna change. As you start working through your textbooks, as you start seeing what your life is looking like in the next few weeks, it's okay to move things. Maybe it's taking you longer to work through this textbook than you anticipated. Maybe this is too easy for you and forget that book, hello new book, and you have to write that in instead. Step number 4 is quite simple. It's just create a weekly or bi-weekly plan based on your monthly overall plan. So I'm gonna take a 2-week section from my whiteboard, put it on a piece of paper, and basically make it a checklist. So as I come home from work, I'm gonna grab my books or my laptop or whatever I need for that day and head off to the cafe. Once I'm at the cafe, I know exactly what I need to do. I can say, okay, I'm supposed to be using my EWA books for 30 minutes. Cool, let's do that. And then I'll say, cool, I can check it off when I'm done. And honestly, just having something to check off makes me stay motivated and feel very productive with what I'm doing. Plus, it helps me stay on top of my things. If I didn't have the opportunity to finish something for today, I can easily write it on my to-do list for tomorrow, even though it wasn't part of the monthly plan to have to do that tomorrow. So this last part isn't necessarily a step, it's more like a tip, but I know a lot of you guys are learning multiple languages. Awesome, hello, be my friend. Anyway, if you're learning multiple languages, it can be hard to do this, but times 2. So one of the things that I recommend if you are an intermediate speaker in any of the languages that you're learning is to learn one language or to learn your new language through your advanced language, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm intermediate in Korean, so I actually have a few textbooks that are written in Korean that teach Japanese, that teach Chinese, right? So I actually enjoy learning Japanese through Korean because I'm able to not only improve my Korean vocabulary and my knowledge of Korean, but I don't have to put it on the back burner. And funny enough, it's actually easier to learn Japanese through Korean than it is through English because of the similarities between the languages. If you're not in an intermediate level, that's okay. If you're a beginner in both your languages, that's okay. You might not be able to louder them, but you can still try and balance them out. Just you have to realize that your progress in both of these languages is gonna be a lot slower than if you were focusing on one instead of 2 at the same time. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my process, and if one of your goals happens to be improving your vocabulary, increasing your vocabulary, I recommend you watch this video where I walk you through how I learned vocabulary so I don't forget it. But I will see you guys in the next video. Tell me about you guys, bye.